Hey everyone, this is Fire Dragon 4 on Matt, and this is my Reach trailer analysis. I'm focused on the multiplayer here, so this is straight into it, the first shot of the multiplayer trailer. You see the Scorpion tank. In this analysis I'm going to try to throw as much stuff in that we've learnt new, so things like map names, some things that'll be in the beta, things like that. As I'm recording this on what I think is April 9th today, I don't even know, yeah, April 9th, so I'll try to get as much of the information we know now into this. Okay, so I've highlighted the elite here, and the elite is obviously in the turret of this tank, but it also probably means that there's an elite driving this tank as well. So that probably means that Covenant can use UNSC vehicles and vice versa in Invasion, which I'm assuming this is. Okay, let's carry on here, and we can see an assassination going on right here. Assassinations are executed by holding down the B button. I'm not sure, I think you can do them from all angles around someone. So say you're at the front of someone, and if you hit someone B normally, it'd just like hit the shields or something, like in Halo 3. But I think in Halo Reach what happens is you can actually execute an assassination from anyone around someone. You can still also just hit someone in the back if that's what you want to do. But that's cool. That's if you really hate someone, you just want to mash down on that B button and just kill them. You know, like when people see me online. Anyway, some nice team fighting going on there, and right here we see an elite doing its only known armor ability at the moment. I mean, there's exclusives to Spartans and to elites, and this is the only one we know for that is definitely only for elites. And this is the evade ability. As you can see, it's it's almost like a dash. Kind of lets you roll out of the way, avoid things, and also get across maps quicker. In Reach, elites are stronger, the faster, and the bigger, so they're easier to hit, they have more health, and things like that. You can go read all about it on Bungie.net, things like that. There's a lot of stuff going on Bungie.net, but I won't be able to fit everything in here, so let's carry on in the trailer anyway. Lots more action there. Okay, we get into loadouts here, and we see 3 Spartans, all with different armor abilities. We see Sprint in the bottom right, and then right in the center at the bottom we see Active Camouflage. And then up at the top there is a guy in a jetpack. Loadouts is something Bungie has explained, and they are things that you can choose when you start a match. Now that includes armor ability, but it also includes weapons. Here we go, we see this here. This is the kind of selection screen that Bungie have shown us that you'll be able to choose different things from. As you can see, the little icons, I believe they're going to be the new kind of like on the UI at the bottom of the HUD. I'll talk more about that later. I'll show you what they currently look like in this alpha build in this trailer, and I think they'll look way different in the beta when we get to play that. Okay, so let's carry on. Don't really want to talk about this too much, it's pretty obvious stuff. Okay, now as that shot ends we see this shot, which is King of the Hill, obviously. It says down in the bottom right hand corner on the HUD. But the most interesting thing about this shot to me was ring design around the King of the Hill, the area where you gotta capture. I find it really interesting that this is the new design. I really like it, and I hope they stick with this kind of big circle block thing. They might do some more cool things with it, I suppose, maybe have like lines going up and down it, but I really like the idea of it being really tall and being able to see people doing stuff. It seems a lot more prominent than it was in Halo 3, which I think is a really good thing. Okay, so the next thing I want to just quickly touch on is, as we can see the HUD here, we've got the armor ability location, which is right there. Now this current ability that we can see in this alpha stage is Sprint. However, the icon does change. Again, I'll talk more about this later, but that's where you're going to see what armor ability you have. Also, just a quick note, the radar kind of has a 3D perspective to it, but you can't really see it in the trailer. And as we finish this fight here, we see the jetpack armor ability right here, obviously. Everyone's talking about this already, so I won't go too much into detail of it, but it is one of the armor abilities that we know of so far, and one of the ones we saw earlier on that screen that said loadouts. Okay, so right here we get a look at our first map, and this map is Powerhouse. This was confirmed at the IGN article. You can probably go find that online, it's everywhere. You've probably already seen it by now. It will probably also be noted in the Bungie weekly update later today that these are the maps, blah 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 blah. Yeah, we know. Okay, so just quickly want to talk about the map. You can see it's kind of got this big dome in the middle, well not dome, this big circular area, which is where we saw the King of the Hill earlier, and also there's some jetpack action going up there. Not a lot to talk about here, but again we see some cool shooting here, obviously Halo Games shooting, and here we see the armor lock ability. And then right here we see the armor lock in action in third person, and the armor lock is basically a personal shield for you. You can't take damage, but you also can't move. I believe it also gives out some sort of EMP blast. It kind of hurts vehicles, things like that, disables shields. I'm not sure of the exact specifics of it, but you can go read some more on Bungie.net, it's all up there. I really like this armor ability. The new effects and things you'll see in the beta are way better than what you see here. These were kind of obviously alpha stage effects. So you can check out what they look like also on Bungie.net, looking really good. Okay, so really quickly on this one, we see the pistol is definitely back with a vengeance, and just a quick note with the medals down here at the bottom, there we go. In the beta they're going to be back up above the text, where they usually are in Halo 3, and a little look at the gravity hammer. Okay, then we're on to this guy right here, who, if you just look close enough, you can see he's got different colours on different parts of his armour. That hasn't really been possible in the Halo game yet. The colour customization has been kind of not so good. I mean, it's just on certain parts there's like 2 different bits. I think in Reach you're going to be able to have a lot wider selection. Again, I'm just guessing here, but I'm pretty sure, thanks to this image right here, that there'd be a lot more armor and color customization. Just a final note before we go off this image, he is using the sprint ability. It's a pretty cool close-up of seeing a guy doing sprint, and then he continues sprinting, and you can see him with his gun down right here onto this next shot. Okay, so this map that we're on right now, and we've seen it already, but this is Sword Base. This will be in the multiplayer beta. It's another one that you can see in here. There is one that I will note later on, which isn't shown much, but will be in the beta as well. Okay, so I was saying earlier about how the icons are going to change, so let's have a look at what that's going to look like. There we go, that's probably what they're going to look like in the beta. They may still change, and they may change to the retail version of the game. And of course, one very big obvious thing to note before we go off this shot, gravity lifts are definitely back in Halo Reach. Okay, so now I'm just going to quickly talk about expanding reticles. You can see it here, it's all kind of contracted and in one accurate point, and there we go, it expands when you shoot, so your accuracy is weaker, but you can still fire off more rounds, but they may be less accurate. However, if you wait a little while and pace your shots, you're going to get really accurate shots continuously, and that's something new that is in Halo Reach. Again, another look at Powerhouse. Okay, so the reticle expanding again, here we go, that's with the sniper rifle this time, and obviously if you're a sniper you're going to have to work this into your play scheme in Halo Reach, because accuracy decreases over a lot wider spectrum. Just a quick note that I didn't do visually, in the bottom left hand corner just above the radar where the armor abilities are, that is a active camouflage armor ability. Okay, so here we see another assassination going on. It's a pretty cool one as well. I really like the environment and the shot in this one. It really shows you the 2 different types. I'm guessing this is also a Slayer game type, free-for-all, just because of the colours, so I just thought I'd point that out. Okay, so right here we see the needle rifle for the first time in first person, and also there's a really sweet Spartan assassinating an elite over there. I just wanted to make a quick note about this map. It's obviously invasion game type, as you can see in the lower right hand corner, but I also think that this is Boneyard, the map Boneyard. It's one of the interior areas. Bungie have talked about very briefly that it's industrial. Well, I say talked about, they showed some concept art. Just a really quick note as well that this is the first time we really get a good look at the Elite's HUD, and it is quite different from the Spartans. Okay, so still on this shot that we just talked about, and we can see that the Spartan is right here just assassinated this elite that we were viewing from first person, and the entire first person view has kind of gone out a little bit, but we can still see the HUD, and most importantly we can still see that the armor ability Evade, which is still exclusive to the elites that we know of, is visible above the radar there. Another thing I just wanted to quickly talk about was next to the radar are these little call signs for different areas of the map. This is great for playing, say, there's 2 elites in the smelter hallway. Okay, I don't know who talks like that on Xbox Live. We just use our normal voices. But anyway, this just says Smelter Hallway. This is another thing that gives me the impression that this is probably Boneyard. I could be wrong, this could be something like Powerhouse or something like that, but I'm just thinking it makes sense that it's an industrial place, and when you see things later on with Invasion, it would make sense that this would be somewhere called Smelter Hallway. Both of these shots are on Sword Base, there we go, and this is on Powerhouse. I have no comment about this shot whatsoever, just WTF, really, seriously. Okay, so Invasion. Now the first thing I note is that the Banshee gets a redesign for Reach. You can see all the pictures over on Bungie.net. Okay, so this is a good look at the map, which I believe is Boneyard. Now, they haven't talked much about Boneyard at this point in time. They will by probably next week. I'm guessing there'd be a little bit more information out about it. But they have said it is a map built exclusively for Invasion. Well, they say exclusively, it was made for Invasion. I'm not sure if any other game types are going to be on it, but at the moment we have only seen this map use Invasion. So it makes sense that this is the one they're going to be showing us in the beta, but this would be the one they're showing us in the alpha multiplayer trailer here. So, a little thing to note about the map, you can see it's quite industrial, it's human, it looks like some industrial estate on Reach that the Covenant have attacked, which links back to what I said earlier about that hallway with the 2 Spartans and the 2 elites getting assassinated, that was called Smelter Hallway. It kind of looks the same aesthetics of this as well. Oh, one thing I wanted to note on this shot before we move on, I count way more than 6 Spartans here, and they've said that Invasion in the beta is going to be 6 versus 6. I think that is just for the beta, and by the time the multiplayer on the full game is around and we get to play that, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 8v8 for Invasion. A look at the new UNSC grenade launcher in first person makes things explode. I think that Banshees are exploding, so that's all I have to say about this. It looks pretty cool though. And now is for the first look at the plasma launcher, which is a new weapon for Reach again, just like the grenade launcher. And the thing to note about it is it shoots kind of like plasma rounds, kind of very similar to the plasma grenades that we throw. However, they home on, very akin to the rocket launcher in Halo 2. And I think this is a really cool mechanic, and I think it's going to be good against vehicles, obviously, but I think it'll also be very good against humans, and I think it'll be quite a cool counterpart to the UNSC's new grenade launcher, which I didn't mention, but also has 2 modes. It kind of has the normal one, but also has some sort of EMP burst, which I haven't gone into a lot of detail about, but again, we will see that in the beta. And we watch this Warthog get owned. There we go. And there's another look at the evade ability before we jump straight into Headhunter. A lot of people debated about what Headhunter was at first, but I'm pretty sure we've all come to agreement it's a game type where you collect skulls by getting headshots or something like that, and if you die you drop all the skulls you have. I think headshots may give you 2 skulls or something like that. I'm not sure how they're going to work it out yet. It's all kind of not really revealed yet, but we'll see a lot more in the beta, no doubt. Okay, so we see some more Headhunter on Sword Base here and on Powerhouse, and we move on to Active Roster, or Roster, depends how you want to say it, I don't even know. Okay, so Active Roster is basically a new lobby system that Bungie have put into Halo Reach. When you're sat in your lobby with your friends, you might want to know what one of your other friends are doing. Well, it's all listed there. You can see what they're doing, if they're in a multiplayer match, if they're in a matchmaking match, if they're in single player, all that kind of stuff. I think this is me just assuming it's a depth from what they've already stated on Bungie.net. Now, they've shown us a screenshot of basically what this is going to look like, and it's pretty cool to see it all working together. However, I think a lot of people, when they saw this trailer, expected it to be something a lot bigger, like a drop-in and drop-out system for matchmaking or multiplayer or something like that. Obviously, it didn't turn out that way, but I still think it's a pretty cool system that they've kind of brought back from Halo 2, kind of the simplicity of just pressing the Y button. Of course, it's a lot more evolved and a lot more in-depth since then, thanks to the Xbox 360's way of doing things. And I think that it'll be something that we don't initially notice straight away or use a lot, but it's something that we take for granted and really use to our advantage when we're doing multiplayer in Halo Reach. Super quick note here, we can see this guy is holding a needler. Now, obviously, anyone who knows me, that's important. Again, quickly before we see the grenade launcher do its thing, this guy is holding a gravity hammer. And one quick thing to note on this shot right here, this guy has got 4 characters in his service tag, which was in ODST, so they're bringing that back for Reach. Yes! It means I can have Matt or Fire when I'm online. I know, original, right? Well, you know, that's me, original. Okay, so when I first saw this in the trailer, I was really excited, and I think I'm still pretty excited for it. Oh, that image of the Spartan and the Elite, that's just there for size representation. As you can see, the Elite is huge. Anyway, Spartans versus Elites is basically something that they're going to be testing a little bit in the beta, and they're going to be showing us a little thing called Generator or something like that, where you got to blow up generators as Elites and you got to defend them as Spartans. Basically, it doesn't really have a proper name yet. Generator Defense, I think, is probably what it's going to be called. it's being referred to as Network Test 1. More about that later, because I have got a section where I want to talk about that. Anyway, Spartans versus Elites, it's basically going to be Spartans that are weaker, smaller, got human weapons, all that kind of good stuff, versus Elites with Covenant weapons who are stronger, but bigger targets, and they move a little faster. Now, the thing with Spartans over Elites is Spartans have, I think, will have a much more wide array of powers and armor abilities and things like that to dispose of these Elites. I believe this map that they're on right now, I don't really know. I think maybe it's Overlook. I think it might be Overlook, but more on Overlook later. And by later I mean right now. Okay, so this is Overlook. Definitely Overlook. They've announced Overlook. It's going to be in the beta. It's a section from the single player that's being converted into a multiplayer map for test of this Network Test. Network Test 1. Now basically, I'm not sure if they're going to have any more network tests that we don't know about yet, that they haven't talked about, but you've basically got to destroy the generators as the Elites, and you've got to defend as the Spartans. Now it's a pretty big map, it's asymmetrical. You start off at one end attacking, and you've got to go up to this big building at the top where the Spartans are defending. Obviously the Spartans, you start there and defend. Now as Spartans you're obviously weaker and all that, I already talked about that. So you have like different things that you can do to defend these. You can lock them down, but the Elites can get human weapons and they can use their own Covenant weapons against you to destroy these generators. So you've got to take these Elites out before they even get close enough to start doing some damage. Now I think this is all score based, so one turn you'll be Spartans defending and then you'll switch to Elites attacking, and it's all to do with how many you save and how many you destroy in each turn and things like that. I'm not sure how many there'll be, but we'll definitely find out in the multiplayer beta in May. Okay, so it's time for the arena. I don't know a whole lot about it. Bungie haven't said a huge amount about it, but we know it's a competitive multiplayer system with monthly leaderboards that has ranking tiers and they reset every month, things like that. And then there won't be things like Spartans versus Elites, it'll be the Spartan versus Spartan or Elite versus Elite. I think there's going to be Slayer and there's going to be Team Slayer kind of things, along with the traditional objective games, I'm guessing. I'm not sure though, as they haven't announced anything solid yet about that. Now what we see being used right here is a new Covenant weapon called the Focus Rifle. It's basically a mix between the Sentinel Beam and the Beam Rifle from previous Halo games. And basically it just shoots a big beam of power at someone and it can drain the shields. It's kind of like an extended sniper rifle. And by extended I mean time-wise, kind of like stretching time over by doing damage over a certain amount of time, instead of just like a really quick pinpoint accuracy thing that the sniper rifle is mainly used for. For this one I'm going to let the screen do the talking. Damn right. Okay, so in this shot, if you look at the red guy, he's wearing some pretty sophisticated pieces of armor. Again, this is the atrium on sword base, and we see some greenery over there, but the main thing is this warning symbol now shown when your shields go down. That's pretty cool. And right here we see the gravity hammer doing some damage to that poor blue guy. And we get into a sword battle here. This is the first time we see the sword in first person in this trailer, and also it's that guy with that armor from earlier, and we can see here he's got a pretty cool chest piece, and we saw the rest earlier. I think we all know what we're doing on May 3rd, 2010. Save that date. Okay, thanks for watching guys. I hope I didn't bore you for too long. I know I'm pushing the 20-minute bar quite high here, so let's kind of go into something else though quickly before we finish. This is some of the clips from the April Fool's video. I'm going to talk about just some really quick elements from these.
First-person shooter.
Okay, so this is the first time I want to stop and talk about something in the April Fool's video. Now we can see the size difference here, and this is really good to see this in-game. Now the thing that interests me most about this is the map that it's on, but I'll talk more about that in a little while.
Beat that to death.
Okay, so this is a really nice look at the plasma pistol. It's the first time we've seen it in first person in Reach. Another thing I just want to talk about is the armor ability. You can see that's different from the alpha trailer. You can see it's got that running sprint icon now, and also next to the radar we have that little call sign for the area where you are. It says Cliff Approach. Now I'm pretty sure they haven't shown us this map yet, unless it's somewhere on something like Boneyard that we haven't seen yet.
Landing a headshot. That's
the plasma launcher in action right here against people. Holy moly! Elites look awesome in Reach. they do look really cool. Also, what environment is this? Is this Forerunner?
Last paradigm. They've been really just driving this.
Okay, so the Elite dropped something right here, and people have been talking about what it is. I'm pretty sure it's just a frag grenade, a weird angle, that's all.
Day one.
Chess is the longest running and can't continue.
Okay, we can see the monitor right here, and I think he looks pretty cool. I keep getting hints of him being like almost like a turquoisey greeny colour. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Also, these placement boxes that they're having a laugh about on this chess thing in the April Fool's video, I wonder if they're possibly something to do with how you move things in Forge now. You know, there's big white things that's sticking out the ground there. I'm just wondering.
Weapons.
Okay, so this is the part of the analysis where people either think I'm crazy or they agree with me. Now, you see out there, I think this area where we are right now is a part of a Forerunner multiplayer map that they haven't announced yet. Of course, they're not announcing anything Forerunner yet. It's a part of the game that they don't want us to know about yet. Obviously, Reach has got a lot of Forerunner stuff on it. Read the books. Read the books. No spoilers here. Okay, so if you just look at the environment where we are, it looks way too detailed just to have been quickly whipped up to be something for some April Fool's video. Pretty cool top down to see what's going on here. Looks nice. Some more cool stuff here. Okay, so this is the last still frame in the entire analysis. As you can see, it says Colosseum. This is usually next to the radar. It's the call sign for the area of the map. I'm pretty sure this is a multiplayer map we're not meant to know about yet, and they're just using a really, really remote area of it to show us this game type. Trying to not give much away either, are they? Also, there's a monitor up there, so we're probably in Forge mode. This could actually be the Halo Reach version of Foundry or Sandbox. It could be a really big area for us to mess around with, but in a Forerunner environment.
Put into that character and then
Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed all of this. Anything I said for the last 20 minutes plus, it's all speculation unless I'm, you know, pretty much saying it's proof or stating that's on Bungie.net. Anything is also subject to change because this is all alpha and beta footage, so it's not time for the what they refer to as the delta, or we refer to as the public beta. But I'll see you guys all online. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. I'm Fire Dragon 4 on Matt, and thanks for watching.